Good evening, everyone. Just like the moderator just said, my name is Melinda Blake, and I'm the president of the European Blind Union. So we're an association that campaigns for the inclusion of blind people in society. Just to give a remark right at the beginning of my speech, I'm not blind personally, but my parents were blind, and this is why I decided to really engage into this topic and decided to be really involved in the work of the European Blind Union until I became the president of that association. And today I'm here to speak about two recent means of transportation in cities that are becoming very dangerous for blind people, because we always tend to forget about the most vulnerable people in our societies. I wanted to speak about shared scooters that are being left everywhere on sidewalks, and electric cars that are completely silent, which is very difficult then for blind people to detect electric cars if they don't make any noise. But I will first speak about electric cars. And what we've noticed at the European Blind Union is that the growing number of electric cars is a real and fundamental concern for us. Of course, I'm not saying that they're all bad. We do appreciate the fact that they are more environmental friendly and that there is a clear noise reduction of our daily road traffic. These are all great things. But the problem is that the introduction of these vehicles on our roads have created potential life hazards for blind people and other vulnerable pedestrians. The first thing that you need to know is that for us, coping with orientation and moving around independently, it's really quite a challenge. And the sound generated by road traffic is a really, really tremendous and precious source of information. Thanks to that, thanks to the noise from the streets, we can orient ourselves better. So it's really important for blind people and persons with low vision to have those noises around. We heavily rely on this source to make safe crossing decisions, to assess and interpret traffic situations, to perform an accurate body alignment while crossing the road. And basically it helps us to get an audible picture of our daily environment, and therefore we can act accordingly. So these are all very important points that I wanted to share with you. And now the fact that we have so many electric cars on our road, that's a really great threat to the independence and safety of blind people and partially sighted people. The problem is that it minimizes our chance of using road traffic as a reliable and safe audible source, like I've just said. Electric cars are almost completely silent, and therefore it is really hard for a blind person to detect an electric car and assess its distance and direction, or to detect it early enough to avoid being hit. Collisions between pedestrians and electric cars are much more likely to happen, and they may lead to harmful injuries, or even they might kill pedestrians. So what kind of studies have been conducted on that topic? A few reliable studies have been carried out, and I would like to share some data with you today. In the UK, some comparative analysis came to the conclusion that proportionally more electric cars hit a pedestrian than conventional cars. Then there was another study conducted by the University of Dresden, and it has looked into the perception and evaluation of the noise of electric cars. And what did it find? That additional sound should be added to electric cars in order to hear when they are approaching. Finally, I will just mention another study conducted also in the UK, like the first one, about accident between electric vehicles and pedestrians. And it is apparently proven that that these vehicles are likely to be involved in accidents where pedestrians are injured. Just to give you a few figures, the number of accidents where pedestrians are injured with electric cars has increased. We went from 98 in 2012 to 151 in 2013, which means an increase of 54%, which is quite a tremendous amount. I think you'll all agree with that. But we have been doing quite a lot of work at the European Blind Union, a lot of awareness campaigns. We've put a lot of work into this, and thanks to the intervention of the European Blind Union, now everyone knows that it's really necessary to have additional artificial sound generation on electric cars. You might think that it's a bit ironic, isn't it? Because the great thing about electric cars is that they're completely silent, and now we are actually designing devices to add noise to them. And the EU has now decided to act upon this issue and has published a regulation. This is the regulation on the sound level of motor vehicle. And according to this regulation, car manufacturers will be obliged to put an AVA system on electric cars. So what is an AVA system exactly? It is an acoustic vehicle alerting system. So it's basically a sound generating device that will be added to electric cars. And this regulation will become compulsory from 1st of July 2019, which is actually very soon, just in a few days. So I'm very proud to say that this is clearly one of the biggest success of our campaign. And now I would like to go to the second topic I wanted to share with you today, which is, is there time for my second topic or not? Or maybe I'll leave it for the questions. No, neither? Okay, then I'll just continue on electric scooters. So you've probably seen them everywhere on the streets in Brussels. They're a real plague. First of all, people riding on electric scooters most of the time do it on sidewalks. They go very fast, and blind people cannot really hear them. This is actually a problem for blind people, of course, because I'm a representative for blind people, but it's as dangerous for regular pedestrians. Furthermore, people leave them in very, very inconvenient places on sidewalks. I'm not denying the fact that it can actually be very useful to move around in the city using an electric scooter for short distances, and it's definitely very environmental friendly. However, I do believe that we need a legal framework to also protect the most vulnerable people. Our foundation, or union, conducted a survey among its members, and of the 210 people surveyed, 184 said that electric scooters should not be used on sidewalks. For blind people, it's just like a minefield. But again, I'm not saying that they should be banned altogether. But I think that this issue is a real call to the authorities for them to finally put decent bicycle lanes everywhere that both cyclists and scooter riders could use. But just let's leave the sidewalks to people on foot. Thank you.